Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, give me a moment, live stream. All right, guys. We have a few minutes until market open. We have quite a few interesting pre-market setups here. I don't like how downside confluence is kind of setting up here. So we'll see if we can get like an immediate bid from the market. But there's already a lot of weakness building up here. Crowd already getting crushed even before the open here. It's important for Qualcomm to see bids right off the open here. Might want to look into some of these high flyers. Actually, I didn't look at these yet. So Dell might actually turn into a really good short. I want to see how it reacts to 305. See if buyers step in or see if it just gets wiped there. I have like a really small Qualcomm position. Looks like it's going to stop me out early. I do like the way that IBM is showing continued relative strength here. Maybe it's time for people to pivot from the Dells and the Intels to the IBMs. A Trump trade rotation, maybe? Maybe. I was watching crowd for a setup of a short position. Here it's a little bit more difficult to comment on. Tough open. It looks like the downside move I was interested in is kind of already playing out here. I think DKS, if it can set a higher low, can actually get a pretty good reaction. All right, we're open here. I'm just watching to see how some contracts react. I had to do a very quick cut on Qualcomm. IBM is setting up beautifully. That's a really nice move out of IBM. Looks like Dell. Let's replace Qualcomm with Dell. Dell might set up a really nice short here. 15-minute. Rolling over. Week. 65-minute as well. Crowd kind of back testing the breakdown here. Could set something up. This immediate move off the open is a little too exaggerated. We are seeing buyers step into some areas of the market. I'm eyeing puts here for SPY. Pretty exaggerated, getting some back test here. IBM testing to see if the bidding is real. Oh my word. Ford? Ford with a huge move off the open. An absolutely monster move. Okay. Oops. If 305 turns into resistance for Dell, it could set up a nice short. SPY trying to set like a morning star here. Maybe we'll get a back test of 751. Crowd, interesting offsides move. You know, they were trying to short it in the pre-market, and buyers just bid that thing right back up. I do like to see some of that behavior from the market. Gives me some confidence in an overall kind of weaker behavior. Morningstar failing here though. think I gotta try an MU short here. Took a small partial on the IBM calls that we bought yesterday. I did set up the short position on MU. We're up 400% on Ford this morning. At 400%, I take my final partials, and now I see we get 1,000%. Totally possible. Because we have so much time on those contracts. My 4 calls that expired in July. The position's completely free. I've just been slowly trimming. Let's see here. MU short working very fast. I want to see the gap to the downside get filled here. I chose this over SPY because the 15 minutes about to crack. We're up 30% here on MU. I probably want to sell into this move. Got the exit on MU. That was a quick almost 40% return this morning. I'm out on that exaggerated move. I'll watch to see if we get another setup here soon. $65 bidded on its buy. It's still showing some weakness. So lots of weakness. Not some weakness. Lots of weakness. That was kind of the missed move. I still think it's a little extended here. We're going to watch the 5 minute, see if we can back test this EMA before we set up a short position on this one. I would like to see buyers step into Irene here, or I'm going to stop out some positions that I have there. So far, call contracts holding up sturdy because the stock looks fine. Right here. The underlying momentum indicators are a bit shaky. So far, it looks fine. Let's watch the 1 minute on MU. If it kind of fails this back test, gets a continuation lower, I mean, SPY looks like it's just going to keep melting. I'm not going to lie. I just don't know if right here is really the best entry. So we'll keep an eye on it. See if Dell does this back test. MU trying to back test this breakdown a bit. If we can fail 950 again, I'll try a short again. DKS, Dick's Sporting Goods, Has a really interesting daily structure. That's why I got this one as a main focus. Trying to see if this thing can get a rebound. Crowd kind of look above and fail here. Might turn into a short. Dell breaking 300. Almost under the prior day's lows. $281 is where this thing could go. I mean, what are those 280s going for if I buy them for like next week and just come in small? Oh, they're very, very pricey, actually. Very pricey. Crazy they're selling off after the Irene deal that just went through yesterday. Love to see the strength out of IBM. I told you guys yesterday that this was a very large position for me, call position. That's setting up really beautifully here. I mean, it fully flipped to 65-minute. We have a recovery of the plunge. Remember, that was a big major key level. I did take one partial, but I still have a very sizable position on for this one. So we like the way this thing's behaving right now. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. I already got my one partial in. I want to see if we get a full recovery. And reclaimed like 256. That might make me want to take another partial. I'm not gonna lie, guys. SPY is not looking good. So let's huge resistance from MU. The 1 minute is trying to turn. 5 minutes says good luck. 15 minutes says you're going lower. Still a tough spot. I might just start the broader market here. Simplify it. All right. As we lose 250, I'm going to try this. I'm in a little bit earlier. You really want to see us lose yesterday's lows, and this is an extended move. So 252 is stop, or 752 is stop. But I feel like we've already we're testing this after hour structure. We might get a little bounce here, and that might be a point for me to add to the short position. DKS is trying to do a full recovery here. Ford actually has a full reversal. It can actually go to 16 today. So we'll see. We'll see. Does the sell just turn into a rotation? Let's take a look at our heat map here. This definitely looks like a rotation, guys. Look at consumer non-durables and services, health technology, catching all the bids. I don't even really need to keep an eye out for it, quite honestly. Twist catching a bid. I wonder if Hims is catching a bid. Hims catching a bid. Oh, Hims! Where's my alert? I had an alert at 25. Where's my alert? I'm a big fan of seeing that from Hims. Yeah, so this does not look like broad market weakness, by the way. This definitely looks like a rotation. I took another partial on IBM here for a nice 20%. Still sizable position. Just giving myself some padding. I think if market was overall stronger catching rally here, I wouldn't be doing that, but I'm just being a little bit cautious. Keeping an eye on HEMS here. So 15-minute looks solid. If we look at the 65-minute, we also do have a big reversal here. I wonder if the daily, MU, congrats if you went ahead and took that one when we saw that stagnation, by the way. It's turned it into an amazing short. I was very happy with the quick 40%, and I'm still happy with it. So we gotta keep an eye on HEMS here, man. I'm a little hesitant, probably more hesitant than I need to be. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and take a small position for July. Small. Let's take another review of DKS here on the daily. This is the structure I'm watching. We just had earnings this morning. Looks like it was just a back test of the bullish EMA, and it's trying to catch a continuation. It's really an ugly candle. I probably do need to see this over 234 here. Because right now it's kind of a tougher play. Better confirmation is over this high, quite honestly. I might need to wait for that level of confidence. Let me look at what the contracts are pricing in. It all depends on what. Wow, these are surprisingly expensive. Oh, and there's only monthlies. Oh, it's very. What? Oh, liquidity's decent. Liquidity's pretty decent. Spreads are awful, though. Big whales in the money on a call position in July right now. I'll keep an eye on it. I don't have super heavy convictions quite yet. I want to show everyone this real quick. When you get these big moves, you gotta hold them. That's 400% on 4 here. On our rolls, we're already doubled our rolls. All of this is free, by the way. We already took partials on 4, so these positions could go to 0. We still walking away with amazing profits on the play overall. Just riding it, letting the winner win. So important. So important. Let markets print you money. Don't interrupt the market printing you money. SPY going for the back test here. 252, 752 is a stop. Willing to add there. If market continues to look weak, Irene with a nice recovery here. We do have an Irene position. IBM kind of back testing this morning move. It was a big move, but it looks fine. 15-minute actually looks great. This might be an opportunity to buy something a little more short dated on IBM. I actually like the way a lot of these recoveries look, but things like Dell have a lot more to do. Like, this might now be creating the short opportunity I wanted in Dell. You know, we were watching this early, and I wanted to be patient. So let's watch the 15-minute, especially here on IBM. If we could get a bounce off 250, I might buy some weeklies and get a little bit more active there. Irene, let's reclaim that pre-market high, baby. Those contracts were break even this morning. They actually never really took us into the red. But if we can get over that pre-market high, we'll be able to take some solid profits. Being patient with it so far. Our SPY contracts are actually holding up really well. It's 5-minute Morningstar. I'm actually going to tighten up the stop here. If you get over 57.60, what am I saying? If you get over 750.60, I'm out. Sorry, tongue twister there. Lots of morning stars, which can be signs of reversals. That's what you want to be cautious of. So if we pop over that level and get a continuation over this bearish EMA on the 5-minute, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna lose my convictions. Dell, same thing. Morningstar structure. IBM setting more highs. Irene, come on, give me one more good push. Come on. You know what I hate to see? Where's my flip on the 15-minute? I don't even have a bottom signal on the 10-minute. What's going on here? Show me something. It makes me kind of itchy to take a partial, which is not what I want to be feeling. Oh my God, force. Oh. Ford is something else, man. All right, let's I mean, just seeing this thing up like 425% here, it just is the gift that keeps giving. I don't like the exhaustion on Irene. Glad we were patient with DKS. I think it ended up failing. Complete momentum breakdown. The relative volume makes me not want to take it off my radar, but we'll be watching here. Watching very carefully. Very, very carefully. On CEG, we took some big profits, and we're getting a pullback here. I did roll them, but looks like we've come back and tested the bottom of the wedge. Quite honestly, I want to see buyers hold this. So I kind of want to see a full recovery on the day for us to get a continuation. And it looks like we might see something like that. I think with crowd kind of having an inside day, I'm going to take that off the radar. I'm going to kind of watch this here. Dell showing some signs of strength as it completes the Morningstar. So if I was short here, I'd be out. We didn't get a full Morningstar completion on SPY. This right now looks like a back test. So it needs to clear that level, which will stop me out. Put premiums holding up extremely well right now. We did get the partial in Irene as it comes and tests the pre-market high again. Very cool, very cool. That was I'm seeing 63%. Oh, because I averaged in yesterday. Oh. Very nice. SPY's not holding it. It tested that level. It tested the hands, but didn't hold it. By the way, guys, not doing much, but a lot of the plays, I have some stuff running against me pretty hard, but amazing profits on the day, Okla's trying to take my lunch, but the winners are winning big, So I'm not really focused on the losers right here. I wanna focus on what's making me money. And what could make me money. So I see it there, but I don't really care much. Because we're making really good money today. So let's focus on that. Keep a positive mindset. With Irene getting a move like this, it kind of wants me to see it if Oracle is going to do a big reversal again. It loves to do these freaking rugs and then full recoveries. So honestly, this thing needs to fully recover 192. IBM, by the way, our largest position right now, keeps marching higher. We love to see that. That's very sexy. Very, very sexy. There it is. Full reversal on the 15-minute for Irene. There it is. There's the relative strength I want to see. Even with the market weak, Irene says we don't care. All right, SPY's trying to stop me out. We'll get out here soon if it continues to do this. I will say, one of the things that I'm watching here, though, is I'm only down 3% on this position, despite it melting up against me. They are holding the premiums for the puts. They're kind of telling you they want to try and drag this thing down. So let's keep an eye there. Let's see if I have a bottom signal on the 10-minute. I don't. I still don't. It's still not there. And I still have weakness on my 65, my 30 and 65. I'll still follow my rules that I set. And I'll still use the same stop. So we'll go back to the 5-minute. We'll watch it here. We need that candle confirmation over that level to solidify the cut. MU looks like it's setting up a bear flag here. All right. Looks like SPY's going for the stop on me. It's a hit the brakes. All right, we're out. We're out of that one. Cut it tight. Watching MU here as well. IBM, an absolute freaking monster. 31% right there and another partial. This position still very sizable, guys. I'm being very patient. I'm taking profits one contract at a time, holding it. Being very patient. Absolute monster, though. Irene, absolute monster. We're up 40% on our July contracts right here. Our Coles Lottos are actually doing really well, too. Interesting. Yep. But as Irene June contracts go for 100% right here, I am looking to take profits on those. Let the Julys cook a little bit longer. Let them cook. Let the market make you money. Let it do its thing. Don't get too much in the way. You don't want to get in the way, but you do want to give thanks. If they're paying you, you say thank you. You take some profits. Beautiful. Oh man, with IBM they keep buying the ass from me. They're pumping these premiums, man. Hims with a really, really solid move, actually. Wait a second. Get Hims back up here. Get Hims back on my screen. Look at that. Just a very shallow back test of the EMA and then continuation higher. That's what you love to see. Let's go. All right, IBM starting to get a little bit extended here. This is a major key level test here, so this is kind of where I want to take maybe another partial. Maybe say, okay, you want to give me 425 for this contract? Kind of sell into the strength, and then on back tests might be setups for short-term contracts. Irene! Please and thank you. Oh, look how... Ooh, there's lots of liquidity in our Irene here, too. Oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. I just took some profits on REM. We bought those yesterday. I closed that one actually for 17%. Just a small scalp on a small position there. Where did the party go? They're edging me here on IBM. I'm still looking to take that other partial, but I want the pot to pop just a little bit more. You still don't have that bottom signal from SPY, so like you're just back testing a short setup, and I'm not opposed to trying a short again, especially if you fail like 752 here. That could be a nice setup. Let's keep an eye on it. MU still has a very much like a bear flag setup to it as well. So this is actually where you want to see it fail. Like it already did the full back test. An entry here could be a really nice attempt with a tight stop. So actually, let me look at these. I would want to buy contracts expire at the end of the week again. I entered back into MU. I'm using just the profits from the trade earlier though, so I'm pretty far out the money. Just to look to see if we get a quick plunge for the lows. This is my hard stop. You pop over that, I'm cutting it. I don't have the appetite to be patient. I'm not really looking to give up all my profits on the day with it. It's just the risk reward is too juicy there. Did I get my partial in IBM? Still in solid profits though. What's bumming me out a little bit more is Irene, but it's still really strong today. Like we're still over that. We're back testing that pre-market high. So let's see if we can get a bounce here. Dell might turn into a good short, but damn, it's so freaking expensive, man. It's so freaking expensive. Never thought Dell would be this expensive to trade. Like if I want to buy 290s, I'm paying $1,200 for one contract. You know, granted, that's what I paid for MU earlier this morning. MU earlier this morning was $1,100 per contract. Well, I think I'm over exaggerating. I think I paid $1,050, so it's a little over $1,000. But MU, you know, I expect MU to be that expensive when the chart looks like this. Yeah. Dell, to be honest, geez, is that the same chart? Because it kind of looks like it. maybe I'm being a little delusional on that one. That is quite the move. CEG actually kind of looks interesting for a dip buy here. But not doing it yet. I see that TLT with the full recovery here. And daily looks ready to pop. Show me. So IWM leading the way. Small caps leading the way this morning. Our MU short is working. I might go ahead and look for exit a bit early. I see the big candle. I like taking profits into big candles. Nice premium pumps. It's a shorter dated contract, so
they take out premiums pretty fast on these. So let's see if we can get an exit here on the short. We got it. Locked in another 25% there. So we got 40% earlier. We got another 25% there. It could drift a little bit lower, but that's fine. I'm in my money. I'm happy. I'm happy. Irene's a bit wild what they're doing on like the tail end of these options. Like these further expirations make wild moves without the stock doing really all that much. You know who's kind of coming back to me is Microsoft. Like the daily's about to flip here. Like we're back testing this parallel chart. This looks like a classic bull flag. But the double top there is what's so ugly. And I have my weekly about to fire as well. This one's been tough on shorter dated, so I put on some swings and I've just been holding them. I do like the look of this. Like you kind of, we have a look above and fail here, but now we have a look below and fail. So let's see if we can get a nice reversal here on this one. Won't be as clean as this beautiful Morningstar structure here, but it can be. It can turn into that. There's some big candles, man. Yeah, market just still kind of looking like large rotations. Odd rotations. I'm going to take a small partial here on Hibbs. I'm going to lock in at 15% a little early. I'm eyeing Dell, what looks to be an evening star here. I might actually try to give this one time. It's so expensive, man. I might try the 265s for next week. What will I get filled at is the big question. Honestly, I probably want to go into something a little bit more liquid. The 240s are really liquid. It's probably a hedge, though. It's probably why it's so liquid. 260s are a bit tighter. I should get a better entry here. Small. All right, I kept it small. I kept this one really small. I just want to see if we fail to break over this 210 and this turns into a looks like it might try to stop me really quick, quite honestly. But if we do fail to reclaim this 310, 65. We should see a nice plunge. The goal today, though, is to make sure the loser stays small. So I'm still, even though I'm small and I gave it time, I'm still probably going to keep a really tight stop on this one. Ford, by the way, up 455%. We already have our alert on DKS. We don't need to set another one. Ford, yeah. Remember earlier this morning when I said 16 possible today? He came within 2 cents of it, so. Wow. Wow. If you could break the pre-market low, you break the not pre-market, but the low of the day. Excuse me. Oof, big stretch. That Dell pop failed pretty quick. We're flat on the position. But I kind of like that. No, we're not flat. No, we're making money. CLSK contracts coming back nicely. MRK coming back nicely. Twist Biosciences holding up. Interesting. It's very interesting, man. I feel like Microsoft. I feel like, how much of this do I have? You know, a setup like this, I'm constantly going back and forth on whether I have enough size. I'll leave it where it's at right now, and I'll size up over 420. Yeah, I gotta pay more. Yeah, I'll make a little bit less. But if we get that bull, if we get the bull flag here, if this bull flag plays out, this thing should be looking to fill that gap all the way to 480. If you give it time. So I don't want to front run it too hard, but I do want to chase it hard. Especially with some of these moves, man. You know? Let's watch a 10-minute on CEG because I am eyeing that for a dip buy. So now we're making some money on Dell. Let's see if this turns into an evening star and they take it all the way back down to the lower day. SPY looks like it back tested that pre-market support and turned it into resistance. You know, my original thesis was I don't stop until we get over to 752. Maybe I should have stuck with that, but I'm kind of fine keeping the tightening up the stop. I don't mind getting back in if it actually gets under the lower day. MU making that visit to the lower day. I mean, ugly evening star here, but just into resistance. Let's see if it continues. Let's see if it continues to set something up good here. Eyeing it. We still have, the big thing about SPY is like you're 65 minutes about to turn. You're 4 hours turning too. So at the 4 hour breaks, we're probably going to 740. And with how this looks, I would say we're at least going to 747. Your 10-minute failed the bottom signal here. Next candle will be confirmed. We really just need the completion of this candle to give clarification on that. I do see some of the things that were holding strength. Like, I don't like to see Irene actually peek up that move like that. But we did already take some profits. Like, we closed our June contracts for some solid returns. So, even though some stuff is pulling back, we've done a good job of locking in some of those profits. I'm going to review this MRK position I decided to take. Oh, I thought this would look a lot worse with what they're doing to these contracts. They still haven't flipped this weekly. So this is a bit concern. This was a bit concerning to me when I originally took this. We actually took some pretty early profits on this one. And then I took a really small roll. So right here, I do have a swing for June, but it's very small because I just don't like, I didn't like, rather, how far we were from the EMAs. And I was kind of cautious of a, failed breakout. But actually the way that they're consolidating this and like holding this level is very good. It's very good. So we'll see what this continues to deliver. Irene getting a red week here. IBM just kind of back testing, looking strong. If you held the SPY with the original 252 stop, you're actually in the green here. Dell short's working out. I want to see if it goes all the way back to the lows. MU did find new lows. Everything on my screen's in the red. Let's take a bigger look at this. Let's take a closer look at the overall structure for Irene. Yeah, you don't like to see it fail there, but let me tell you what, if you like cup and handles and you like looking for those breakouts, my word, you want to slam this thing with size if it gets over 65. Holy cow. The thing is, the daily flips, no, 2-day could look better. Weekly's now firing. Monthly's still very strong. The question of whether this makes new highs again, it isn't really a question to me with a structure like this. The big question is, can we get more overbought than we did before? Because that's what I would want to see on a longer time frame like this. I want to see this RSI take us to, in the 90s. And that'll tell me, okay, our 130 target's then doable. If this thing sets new highs, goes to 100, but we only got like an 83 RSI, and then I start to see signs of weakness, I might say, oh, hold up, and say we're out. But, it's the other thing that's kind of keeping me with tight stops is because just looking at charts like this, there's nothing bearish here, despite the market kind of like having a little bit of a pullback and seeing some weakness in names like MU and, everything kind of getting weak right here, right? But the big picture stuff still looks amazing. Most annoying that this looks good because I hate this stock. Not a fan of that company. Ugly evening star on IonQ, but if it defends the 58 back test, it's a buy. Honestly. Yeah, I actually want to leave the alert right there. I actually need to bring this alert up. Actually, looking at this area of resistance here, it's a pretty big pivot point. A failed breakdown to this level can give nice reversals. It's also been a major point of resistance. And I'm getting the weekly confirmation here. And the monthly flipped. Holy shit, dude. This is kind of what I was talking about, Irene. Like, this is what you don't want to see. I know I talk about this a lot on the live streams, but it's so important, guys, because people struggle with like, oh, is the rally done? Go to any stock, all right? Go to any stock, and you see this pattern where your RSI is becoming more overbought on longer time frames. On shorter time frames, this is a completely different story. On shorter time frames, this type of structure can actually be a nice continuation. But on longer time frames, these divergences are worrisome, and they're signs of tops, okay? And it's such a simple way to say, I should probably take profits. I should probably be looking for my final exit. Where, if you were in this, you're up 50% over the prior high, and you're getting no momentum confirmations. Yeah. And even if you were a bit of a bit slower, not the fastest tractor, you see a big exhaustion candle that gives up the entire move like that, that's definitely a cut. That's not just a cut. That's a beautiful short. And you guys will remember when that happened because, near the end of 2025, we were shorting the shit out of this. We were saying, please and thank you. Ford is such a monster. I'm sorry I keep mentioning this thing, but First of all, our read of that headline that caused this pop and said we got to buy this dip with both hands, was so picture perfect, especially here. Like, look at we got a flip on the monthly, and we haven't even gotten the flip on the weekly yet. Like, believe me, this can go to 20. It could totally go to 20. This isn't where I add. You know, as you guys know, I've just been like slowly taking profits. But we're about to get the RSI confirmation today that, hey, this rally's not done. And, you know, you want to talk about that Irene setup where that pullback can kind of spook you? Because you look, that first test. Oh, here. Let me not get into myself. We had cup, and then we have the handle, right? The first test of the breakout level gave that vicious pullback, right? And if we look at Irene, you know, it can be kind of concerning that we're getting this pullback here before we fire the handle. But let me tell you what, they love to do this when the stock's a little hot on the daily, right? They love to do this. Like, see the similar structure where we're going for the cup and handle breakout, but we're so far from the daily EMA. And look, it came right back to it and then gave the real move. My gosh, you know, Irene tried to do the same thing here. Stocks love to do this. They love to fake out the structures. They love to pull back, burn out the weak hands, and then send the moves. They love to do that. Still in profits on Irene, man. Still in profits on IBM. Still in profits on HIMS. Making money on CRML. Making money on Dell. Making money on Twist. Microsoft coming back to me nicely, which, by the way, these are just at break even despite the pullback. They've been doing just fine. You know who else is holding up surprisingly well is SMR. Especially when Okla's so weak. Yeah, that back tested the breakout again, man. That back tested the breakout, but this time we're seeing seller exhaustion. So maybe we're actually going to get the move there. Finally. I don't like Oklo failing, but their underlying momentum still looks good here. So we'll keep an eye on it. And the weekly's still about to fire. So maybe it's just the final pullback before we finally get the move. The one thing I don't like is I got to keep my stop wide on this one, unfortunately. Is there a better pattern here? Nope, not really. It just kind of, it can just be a freaking alligator and drag you down and try to drown you out before it sends the move. So be it. Dell Premium is actually holding well even as this thing tries to pop higher. Our HIMS buy this morning is now up 25%. I do like to see that. That's cool. Strong rotation today. CEG is trying to backtest, but I'm not seeing the turn signal in the 10 minutes, so I'm not really. I don't really have much of an appetite for it. SPY did fail to set new lows, so you know this might be a really boring inside day. This might be just one of those Thursdays where you just feel kind of meh. I'm probably gonna look for an exit on Dell here, quite honestly, with how this thing's kind of shaping up. Let's see what kind of exit they give me here, because honestly, the wide spread here is actually looking to trap you, make you feel like, oh, you're fine to hold, but really you're not. Really, they're cooking these profits out of you, out from underneath you. Yeah, we're gonna get out of that one. No losses. All right, guys. It's past 9:30, so you know the drill. Well, I'll see you in the Discord. I'm honestly gonna take a break. This isn't really a day where I want to sit in front of the charts. Not when they're like kind of trapping everything inside. Kind of good time to step away. Mental exhaustion is a thing, especially when you're sitting here in deep focus, right? So I'm gonna go grab a snack and then I'll be in the Discord. Still sharing my screen, still doing live callouts, and you can actually see all the transactions reported in real time. And we've got a bunch of announcements coming up, guys, because we're making so much cool shit. You don't even know. The next month's gonna blow your mind with what we're doing at MBT. So get ready, no exaggeration. You don't have to believe it; you'll see it soon. So talk to you then.